Cosplay Barbie Kristi Noem is absolutely a threat to democracy. Not only is she a laughingstock, she is an incredibly dangerous person that I want to remind you shot her dog.
Right.
Like, that's not even normal. But here she is lying about arresting a United States senator.
And this man burst into the room, started lunging towards the podium, interrupting me and elevating his voice, and was stopped, did not identify himself, and was removed from the room.
I'm Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary, because the fact of the matter is a half a dozen violent criminals that you're rotating on your heads off.
Okay, this is where we are entering the normalization stage of authoritarianism. They have arrested a congressman. This senator ended up not being arrested, but was briefly detained and cuffed and then released. And this is the MAGA movement priming the American public that politicians that disagree with MAGA or wish to hold MAGA accountable or wish to exercise their First Amendment right guaranteed under the United States Constitution, that they will be criminalized. This is the most dangerous era that the United States is in with this shit show MAGA administration.
Well, and interestingly enough, she is sitting there and we've got the tape back to back showing that she is lying, but lying has become their way of life, and their supporters would rather believe the lie than the truth. If they even see, they probably just see Kristi Noem. They never see the video of what the truth, because in MAGA, you do not believe your eyes, you believe what they tell you, which is authoritarianism.
Yeah, and it's a cult. It's just the whole MAGA movement is just an absolute cult. I mean, if we do not hold the line, if the courts do not hold the fact that we'll lose this fabulous country, the United States of America, to these flea bags, total parasites. I mean, the bottom feeders of the biggest bottom feeders, the religious wacko Bible thumpers that are so hypocritical that see Donald Trump as a good person. You know, it's just, that's who we're going to lose this country to. All right, next up, we have the Homeland Security response to the arrest of, and I keep saying arrest, it is the temporary detainment of the United States Senator. Senator Padilla chose disrespectful political theater and interrupted a live press conference without identifying himself or having his Senate security pin on as he lunged towards Secretary Noem. Just that first statement is full of lies and propaganda. He identified himself, and there was no lunging towards Secretary Noem. Mr. Padilla was told repeatedly to back away and did not comply with officers' repeated commands. Secret Service thought he was an attacker, and officers acted appropriately. Kristi Noem met with Senator Padilla after he held a 15-minute meeting. So I just wanted you to know that I found it really interesting that while they were detaining the senator, Corey Lewandowski was in the hallway. And Corey Lewandowski is a man with whom big Christian Kristi Noem had an affair with. And she's married to somebody else. He, at the time, was he single or married to somebody else?
I think that he was single.
Okay. So they're lovers, and now he has been put on her, within her employment. So now he works for her. And this is the collusion. Imagine the worst people you know. When I think about the MAGA hypocrites that I know, I can't get far enough away from them. These people are running the federal government, and they are lying. And here's a response from Gavin Newsom to the propaganda put out. Didn't identify himself. It's the first thing out of his mouth in the video. You've detained a mayor, a judge, a union leader, now a United States senator. You've deployed Marines on U.S. soil. If a president did this abroad, would have a word for it: dictator.
Well, it's absolutely a dictator mentality. And here's the thing about this whole thing. They threw him down on the ground. And for the Homeland Security to tweet, it was disrespectful political theater. Are you kidding? That was a term invented by you. The irony, the hypocrisy. But I think it's a really good point when you look at that tweet from Governor Newsom. A union leader, a judge, now a U.S. senator, aides in Congress at the House of Representatives have been arrested in their office. They are going after everybody because they do not believe in free speech. The only thing about the Constitution they believe in is guns. Full stop.
Absolutely. I mean, there's just no question about it. And these MAGA Republicans are used to acting with impunity. They're used to everybody surrounding them, giving them deference, giving them the benefit of the doubt, because that's the way the whole country's been set up. Oh, they don't realize they're bad people. They don't realize this. Bull fucking shit. They know, and the cruelty is the point. Do not provide an ounce of cover for these people. Millions of people willingly and knowingly triple trumped on this man because they like the cruelty. They like the racism. And like any addict, like any crazy person, they don't want to give it up because they value it in their hearts. And they know it's wrong because they edit their words. What Pumps and I hear around all white people in white circles is different than what these MAGA people would say around people of color. And that's how you know they know. Okay, now we have let's put up this post here. 6 GOP members are asking for stats on how many arrested migrants are criminals. We are also concerned that your limited resources may be stretched to pursue individuals that do not constitute an immediate threat to public safety. And Pumps, I think this is at the crux of this. Stephen Miller and Donald Trump want the optics as seen by the White House social media websites and social media accounts. They want the optics that look at how cruel we are because their base likes that. Look at us putting chains and shackles and sending people to El Salvador without due process. MAGA likes it, MAGA supporters like it, MAGA government likes it. The difference between that mentality, MAGA, and what Americans are supposed to value is that everybody has their day in court.
Right.
Everybody has their chance in front of a judge, and MAGA is usurping that outright. And so these are very important questions asked by these Republican senators.
My thought is they will never get the answers to this. I believe that they will never, the Department of Homeland Security, Stephen Miller at the head of the snake, they will never give the correct numbers. I don't know if in history we will ever see it. Are they destroying evidence? Because they lie. Because when there have been in-depth investigative reports about who they are arresting. For example, the Miami Herald did one. 18 people, 7 had no criminal record, and that's just the ones they could find information on. So I agree. There has been a huge push just for the purpose of the immigration porn for these MAGA people. But I believe they will not be transparent with these numbers or they will lie. And that's something that Congress, even GOP people, need to reconcile.
Yeah, no, there's no question. And the thing is, for the MAGA people, and we live around a bunch of them, when they tune into Fox News and they see tough talk with no compassion, tough talk with no empathy, and they see people getting wrestled to the ground and cuffs put on them, people that are trying to fight for the marginalized, they are on the side of the evil, yet they tell you they are Christians and they are good people. And this is a movement that traffics in cruelty from start to finish. And how we know this, how we know they know, is they are emboldened now. 10 years ago, they were more quiet about their racism. They were a little bit more hush-hush about their cruelty. They knew to moderate it. They knew to self-edit it. Now they don't, because Trump has said it's okay to come out of the closet as the racist we all know you are and join me in my racism. And that's what is at the core of this. And Fox News is so complicit in this. And all of these other podcasters, you have a bunch on the right, Ben Shapiro and others, Jack Posa or whatever his name is, that are saying no more migrants from third world countries, that they want to cherry pick who gets amnesty and who doesn't based on how wealthy their governments are. Yet these people appeal to their Christian base. And this is what will remain after Donald Trump's either death or impeachment, or we know he's not going to peacefully transfer power, even if it's to somebody within his own party. So this is what remains beyond America are these people who willfully and knowingly love cruelty and love injustice over justice. That is the reconciling that America has to go through. And this goes back to the inception of our country, where people prefer, like if you look at just the civil rights movement, all of the people that opposed that were the Christians.
Right. Right. And one other thing that, we have to continue to mention is as a government, they are lifting up racism. Look no further than what Pete Hegseth is doing in the military. He is removing Black military members from names, from pictures. He wants everyone to think it was only white men. Very few women, they've been pulled back. Like Ruth Bader Ginsburg's no longer on a ship. Why is that? Well, she's a female. LGBTQIA plus community, they're going after everyone that is not a white male. And women, especially white women, they need to get a clue. They are coming after you just like they're coming after everybody else. And you sit there in your church groups and you're in denial about it because you think your husband's going to protect you. Well, he won't. It will not protect your daughters. It will not protect your sons. This man goes after everybody that is not rich and white and Christian, full stop.
Yeah, but I also think that it goes beyond denial, and it is a preference for cruelty that these people have that they must be confronted with head on. The white culture has been allowed so much deference. People provide cover for them and their moral shortcomings at every turn. The whole system is set up so that people don't confront the white man, or now these white women who vote against their own best interests. And I think it goes beyond denial. And I would say it's willful denial. They willfully deny that it's going to impact them. It is a conscious choice. We know this because these people curate and edit when and where they're racist, when and where they're cruel, depending on who their audience is around. These people are abundantly aware of what they choose, and they like it. They have been raised in a culture where cruelty and injustice reigns, and white people reign supreme, and they like it, and they prefer it. And having empathy for members of the LGBTQ plus community is not something they're capable of. These people, these cruel people have been propped up by the system and by all the other white people around them that refuse to call them out, that refuse to stand up for justice. You told me recently that you had a girlfriend that called you that stood up in a room full of white women when somebody made a homophobic statement. And she called you and she said, Pumps, that felt really good.
Right.
And that's how you make change. That's how it happens on a person-to-person basis. If you have family members that say racist things, tell them, if you say that in my presence again, you're not going to see me. I'm not going to be around racists, period. Make people really dig, because the silence and the complicity that white Americans allow other white Americans to get away with is the first step that we can start to fix. That's the first place, just like Pump's friend who heard somebody say something homophobic that stood up for the gay people in her life. And she's never going to regret that. But white people, you're always going to regret allowing racists to be racist in your presence, and allowing homophobes to be homophobes in your presence, and allowing the dehumanization of immigrants in your presence. Stand up for what's right and quit propping up these dangerous psycho criminals in this administration. It's insane. And also boycott mega churches. That's a movement I'm going to start. Let's boycott mega churches. All right. That's all we have for today, and we'll see you all later.